Hello, human family. How are you? Guys, today I want to go deep down into a very sensitive subject matter. Today I want to discuss female covert narcissists and how it is imperative that you cut all ties and go no contact and stay away from these types of people. What triggered today's show is I was watching a video clip of Will Smith and his wife Jada Pinkett Smith, her mother, and their daughter Willow. And while watching this clip, it made me almost sick to my stomach. Because I've been right where Will Smith is. This man is surrounded by some very dark energy. Some very destructive people, and he's completely oblivious to it. Just like I was, and just like millions of others are and were. Will Smith is in the fight for his life, and he doesn't know it. If he doesn't divorce that woman and get those people away from him for a long period of time, the headlines that we will read in the next couple of years about Will Smith will not be pretty. This is as serious as it gets. He is dealing with some very, very dark energy. These people play for keeps. If you don't know who they are and you're oblivious that that energy is around you, it can destroy everything you are and everything you have. So before we go deeper into today's discussion, I want to share some video clips of other content creators who have been watching Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's relationship closely and what they had to say to Will about his relationship with Jada. I think you'll find this really interesting.
And once again, Jada Pinkett has jumped off the porch again. And one of the most disrespectful things she's ever said to Will. And my plea to Will is that, brother, you just gather yourself and get out of this situation. Stop coming on interviews making excuses for a woman who has no respect, no love, no compassion for you even, as a man who has built a life that she could not obtain on her own. And the appreciation she shows for you in that is to come out and say things like this.
I'm a fan of Will Smith. I'm not here to hate on him or anything like that, but I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. So it's not easy to watch someone like Will Smith, who is highly looked up to by people like myself. You know, childhood memories are very much intertwined with who Will Smith is and his legacy, and I have much respect for the guy. It's just obvious that the problem continues to be Jada. I'm just thinking of the recent post that she made for her 50th birthday, right? Where she talked about in her 50s, she wants to learn how to love. I mean, guys, I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers, but 50 years old and you still don't know how to love? Late 40s and you're still getting caught in entanglements with men who are in their 20s? Publicly embarrassing your man, your husband? And, I talk a lot about, being a good man a lot on my channel and not being a nice guy. And it's easy to confuse the two, but I do believe when we look at someone like Will Smith, he comes off as a man who tries to be good and maybe kind of tries to be nice at the same time. I mean, we don't know what he's really done in the background, but we know he has not embarrassed his wife publicly. We know that what she did to him hurt him, right? We could all see it.
When I turned 40. That's when I had a midlife crisis.
Yeah, your 40th birthday was my low point. The day after her 37th birthday, I hired a team to orchestrate her 40th birthday. I hired a documentary team. I traced Mommy's family roots, her 40th birthday was going to be my thing.
It was gonna be a splash.
It was going to be a splash. Mary J.
Definitely was a
Blige.
splash.
Mary J. Blige performed. I debuted the film, all of that. It was going to be the thing that lifted her out of this midlife crisis, and it was going to be my deepest, most beautiful proclamation of love, and we did it. Oh, she's holding it together. She's getting it together. Then I have Mary J. Blige performing. The whole time I'm like,
Yeah.
the little boy that wants mommy to say everything was wonderful,
Yeah.
right? And she's having a really difficult emotional time. And I said, well, it's okay. We'll just wait and see.
I just wanted to have intimate
Just
time.
intimate time. And I was like, well, I'll cancel tomorrow. She was like, it's my birthday,
Yeah.
right? And she's told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego.
Oof.
Crushed, right? And to this day, I know I was crushed because it was true.
Yeah.
It wasn't a party for her.
Yeah.
Model.
That kind of disapproval is the central greatest pain in my life. And from women.
Gotcha.
Female disapproval.
It's what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely.
You're hurting because you've been disrespected. You already know that she doesn't love you like that. You already know that she belongs to the streets. But you were hoping that she would be different with you. And she wouldn't go back because you were gonna treat her right. You were gonna be the good man that women say doesn't exist, and you were gonna give her the world or die trying. And after all your blood, sweat, and tears, she still disrespected you. Shit is gonna happen in every relationship, but that doesn't mean that the whole world has to know that. Some issues are supposed to be between the two of you. Why do you have to bring a third person in there? That's that look that you have on your face. It's the face of embarrassment. Nobody forced you to invest your time, money, and energy into a woman that has always known dysfunction, a harlot, a promiscuous woman that never valued monogamy. And the fool that you are still wants to do the right thing, still wants to do right by her, because it is you who truly loves her, not for what she does, but for who she is, or at least the idea of who you wanted her to be.
Can you guys see what a broken man Will Smith is? And when he was sitting at the table with Jada, her mother, and his daughter, how all of them were just looking at him and gaslighting the shit out of him for putting on $1 million birthday party for his wife. They made him feel like he was nothing and manipulated him into believing that he was doing that for his own ego, and it had nothing to do with Jada. You see, one of the things when you're in a relationship with a narcissist is that you feel you can never do right. No matter what you do, it's always wrong. No matter how big the house is, no matter if it has a pool or a lake, I am not happy because of you. And they project all of their negative feelings onto him. Now, here's what a compassionate person, see, narcissists lack empathy and compassion. His daughter, for one, would have said, "Oh, Dad, it was a great party. You did it for you. You did it for mommy, and don't feel bad, Daddy," and et cetera, et cetera. But when you watch the clip, watch the body language of all three ladies and how they're just looking at Will as if he's just the worst person on earth, and none of them would have the lifestyle if it wasn't for this man. It is so tangible if you look with a third eye. Now, what a lot of people online talking about when they're talking about Will and Jada's relationship And it's unanimous. Just about everyone who talks about it sees that Jada is the dysfunctional one, but she's more than dysfunctional. And this is where people have a hard time understanding, because it's so far-fetched in their mind. Because you just can't fathom that there are people among us that are this dark and empty. The only way I can explain how these people are is, for instance, do you remember Chris Watts, the guy in Colorado who killed his entire family, his wife, his 2 beautiful daughters, strangled them and then forced them down a thin pipe? For a human being to do that to his own flesh and blood, if that's not evil, I don't know what evil is. We should not have the word evil. And this man was a functioning man, went to work every day. Many women found him attractive. An all-American man who showed no signs of being a demon, of not being fully human. Now, the reason I bring up his name is because he is a perfect example of a covert male narcissist. They're a swell guy to the world, but underneath them is a dark, empty, evil piece of shit. And most people are oblivious to how these people are. Now you say, well, how do you compare Chris to Jada? That's far-fetched, Darin. You're really reaching. These type of people are not all murderers in the sense of physically murdering someone. They do it covertly with a little poison. And when I say poison, I mean gaslighting, manipulating, lying, and doing things on a regular basis to erode the other person's sense of self, their sense of sanity, to prevent them from being focused on the things that make their life better. They kill them slowly. It's a different kind of murder, but it's no less the same thing. There are a plethora of men and women of every nationality, every skin color, every culture, race, and religion that have committed suicide from the effects of dealing with a covert narcissist. And the covert narcissist is happy about it. They don't all kill like Jodi Arias. Do you remember Jodi Arias from Arizona? The way that she brutally murdered her ex-boyfriend? This little angel, she ain't never done nothing to nobody. Just look at her. Just a butterfly floating around. Just a innocent angel shitting butterflies and unicorns. This is what I'm talking about, is that you can't see it. When you look at this lady here, you would not believe that she could saw a man's head off, stab him over 100 times, and then shoot him, and then do her makeup while his corpse is laying next to her on the floor, and then lift him up and drag that butchered, mutated body and put it in the shower, then go home, clean up all of her bloody tracks, cover her ass on the murder that she planned, and go to work and just be a sweet little angel that ain't ever done nothing to nobody. Now, this is a physical extreme of how these people are. But the same dark energy is the same type of energy that a mother that slowly poisons her child to death with medicine to get attention from the doctor, to play the concerned parent while everybody's focusing on her being the victim. These people are addicted to what's called narcissistic supply. The only way that they can get it is by playing the victim of someone. And they do it well. They will assassinate your character. I believe that Jada Pinkett Smith never loved Will Smith and has been planning his demise since the day she met him. And I know this sounds crazy, but if you do the research, and anyone listening who knows about covert narcissists, you know as well as I do. It's not, I'm preaching to the choir. But for those of you who don't know, these people will methodically plan the demise of a person and put it into effect from the day that they meet them. And little by little destroy their reputation. Try to make that person crazy and try to make everyone that person knows go against them. I have lived this firsthand. I've experienced this in my own life. That if you had 10 men that went through the exact same thing that I went through, 4 of those 10 men would have ended her life, without a doubt. 4 more out of those 10 men would have ended their own life. And 2 of them would have disappeared and never came around again, changed their name, or lived on the streets in insanity. I am lucky to be here. I am lucky that I am still me. I came out of the ashes. I rose out of the phoenix. These people are dangerous if you don't know who and what they are. See, when we know who they are, we're good to go. They are powerless. It is when you don't realize what you're dealing with. They will destroy everything you have, everything you are. It is, I tell you guys, it is so creepy. It is fucking creepy what these people are and what they do. And most psychologists, just like the woman that he was talking to, who is an expert on narcissism, but I personally think she's a narcissist. A lot of people who are narcissists get into the field of self-help, psychology, spirituality, religion. This is where a lot of these people hide. And helping others because they love seeing misery and pain, and they love the power and the deception that they're putting over on another person, the way that they're fooling a person by having this person believe that they're a spiritual guru or a priest or a saint and a awesome psychologist. There is no field where they can't be found. In fact, my first 3 therapists were narcissists. It took a while for me to find someone who was an expert in this field, because these people are so covert, so taxing, that many people in many therapists and psychologists don't even want to work with these people because it's such a fucking headache. But the first step to anyone listening to this, and you're having an epiphany and your eyes are opening up that you may be with a narcissistic person, and or you already know that you are, do not waste any time. You cannot change these people. And the damage that has happened to your life, what you're going to lose by leaving them, will only get worse. Take the L, take the loss, and get away from them. I tried for at least 17 years to help heal and change my ex-wife. Couldn't do it. Lost everything I had. Almost went crazy myself. And was almost just decimated by this woman. And that's what we alpha males do. Men always think we can fix things. And you can care too much when you love someone. But you love the image, just like that last clip ended with. We don't love the person. We love the image and the illusion that we have of them in our mind, because the person doesn't exist. I'm telling you guys, this is some creepy fucking shit. But there is a way out. And you have to, first thing is make no contact. In fact, if you're struggling right now, anybody listening to this, at any time, shoot me an email from Darin at DarinGreen.com. Contact me through YouTube. Send me a DM. And I will give you a free book that I wrote on going no contact and how to get away from these types of people. This is probably my main area of expertise in coaching. And if you're listening to this and you're getting a therapist, never work with anyone who hasn't been in an abusive, narcissistic relationship. Understanding the nuances and all of the angles of what these people are and what they do and how they interact is paramount. But to keep your sanity, you have to get away from them. It is so draining and so dangerous to try to hang on. If you've got to lose everything you have financially, it is worth it. It is worth it. And most of all, don't try to convince other people who and what these people are. It will make you look crazy. It really will. What you want to do right now, I was the only person I had in this world when I discovered that I had these type of people all around me and that my own mother was one of these people. And I'll tell you right now, I will guarantee that if Will Smith gets through this, one day you will hear him say that his mother was a covert narcissist. Because we live in a vibratic world. We only attract things that we're familiar with in the vibrational energy that we have as a species, as a human being. We are magnetic people. Will is in the predicament that he's in because that's all he's known. He's been trying to please a narcissistic mother all of his life. Narcissistic girlfriends all of his life. Jada married him because she's parasitic. She preys on other people. She saw his vulnerability. And it's not that you're not an alpha or you're a weak man. That's what haunts you. When the mask falls off and you discover that you've been around or in a relationship or in a friendship with a dark energy, with an evil energy. Imagine waking up and finding out that your friend Jodi Arias is Jodi Arias. Or your friend Chris Watts is Chris Watts. Or your wife or husband are one of these people. It is traumatizing. It is soul crushing. But when they tell you who they are, listen and abort mission. That is critical. That is the main takeaway of today's show. Once you discover the true nature of the fake person you've been in a relationship with, it's time to cut all ties immediately. This is paramount. So if you're in a relationship with one of these people, take the loss, take the pain, and do it now. It only gets worse. There is no happy ending. There is no pain-free ending. You have to end it now. These are called the facts! It really is, you guys. You got to take the hit. You got to take the L and move on with your life. And I want to give a quick shout out to Choo Choo Zet, also the Alpha Romney, Dr. Boa, and the MHD, the Manosphere Highlights Daily. Thank you guys for doing the work you do. You guys should really go check these guys out. They're amazing. Great videos, great content. And keep doing what you fellas are doing. You are making a difference. Until next time, this is Green's Candor, and I'm out.